Welcome back to Slushie Review. This is Keith.
And this is Chris.
And today we are not finishing up, but we're finishing our first three-part with Spider-Man 3.
Yes.
We just finished Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 1. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yes. These are for you, Tyler. I know you're out there somewhere.
You're out in the world listening.
Yes.
Let's see. Are we going to rank the three? Or are we going to rank all of them? How do you want to do that?
I almost feel like it's not fair to rank all of them.
Together?
Because some of them were setting things up that just never came to fruition. I mean, I'll rank these three, and then I don't know. We can do however you want to do it.
I feel the hurt in your face.
I'm gonna have to start
now.
cutting throats at a certain point.
Let's just not rank them.
Okay,
it's okay.
After Spider-Man, after
the end
Star
of the show,
Wars,
I'm gonna be like, rank them.
Finish it.
Same. Is it after Star Wars? What?
As after the Star Wars rankings, that was a hard day for me.
Well, we ranked Avengers.
Yeah, but there was only four of those.
We ranked DC.
Yeah, there was like 8 of those.
Yeah.
And then there'd be 7 of these? No.
7. You're right.
Yeah.
2 and 2. Plus these 3.
Yeah, because the third one for Tom Holland isn't out yet.
Yeah, not yet.
So, yeah. I don't know, I guess we could.
Yeah. But we'd have to throw in Spider-Verse.
Oh, man, you're shaking it up.
It wouldn't be harder, honestly. It would be easier if you threw that in.
Honestly, because it's definitely going to be at the top. It might not be the first one, but it's definitely going to be, top 3 easy.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
I feel like I already know my bottom. Actually, this might not be that hard. I already know my bottom 2.
I told you. Really?
Yeah.
Bottom 2.
Yeah.
Have we watched them yet?
No. One of them. Ooh. We've watched one of them.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Well, this episode is over.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's okay. Well, before we get into it, this episode is brought to you by Red and Blue Slushies again.
Spider Slushies.
Same.
Brought to you by Chef Keith.
Facts. Thank you. I haven't been called that in a long time.
Delicious.
I used to be called that back
really?
in the day. Yeah, I was a chef.
Nice.
So it was good. Let's see. What flavors do we have? Tropical Punch?
Yes.
And
blue raspberry.
Blue raspberry. That's the only blue, as far as I know. It's the only blue flavor, right?
I think the other one's blue raspberry lemonade, which it's basically the same thing, just with lemon.
That's what we have, blue raspberry lemonade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then, that might be the only.
That's it.
That might be the only blue flavor. But honestly, what other ones would you need? Blue apple? The fuck is that?
Blueberry. I don't know.
Ooh. Take a sip of that and tell me that ain't the birth of Christ.
Sounds gross.
Delicious.
Blueberry.
I don't even know what a flavor. I'm guessing it's blueberry. Maybe blue.
With the Halloween twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, blueberry is not a flavor that I'm highly drawn to.
Same. I don't eat a lot of fruits, so
I try to, but blueberries, blueberries don't really you either get one really good one out of the package and the rest are mushy and tasteless.
Never had one.
The blue raspberry, which we all know isn't a real thing, but highly outclasses the blueberry in every class except classes of
fruit.
things that actually exist, is the only one that it loses to the blueberry, in my opinion. Every other flavor easily wins.
Yeah.
Aroma easily wins. Because what's a blueberry smell like?
I don't know.
Fucking nothing.
Well, blueberry pancakes, they smell pretty good, right?
I feel like it's mostly the pancake. Because honestly, if I smelled a blueberry pancake, I'd probably just smell hot.
Well,
it would just smell like something that's hot.
Okay. Well,
do you know that smell? That hot griddle smell.
Yeah.
It smells like hot metal.
That's everything.
Yeah, but if you give me a chocolate chip pancake, I'd be like, ooh, it smells chocolatey.
It wouldn't smell hot.
If I was blindfolded and you put a blueberry pancake in front of me, I would be I wouldn't necessarily ooh, that's blueberry.
Ooh, skillet.
Yeah, I'm
Hot.
Did you take some foil out of the microwave? That smells delicious. Twice.
Okay.
2 times.
I didn't know that. I mean, they have blueberry candles.
Do you buy them? Because I don't.
I don't really buy fruit scented candles. I think all fruit smells gross. With
I
candles.
am someone who, my fiance and I, we smell a lot of candles when we go to stores. This is not saying that we buy a lot of candles,
Okay.
but we smell a lot of candles. I love citrusy smelling candles. You have a grapefruit scented candle on this table right now.
I didn't know it was grapefruit.
And yeah, because the last time we recorded, I lit it. And I was like, I want to smell this. And you're like, yeah, light it. And
It's also bergamot.
yeah, grapefruit bergamot. I don't know what a bergamot smells like, but I know what a
I think
grapefruit
that's
smells
the
like.
overpowering smell that I get.
You don't even know what it smells like. Candle podcast. This is
Either way, besides our candle talk, stay tuned for our sponsors. It's just me.
Swan Creek Candles. Or Yankee Candle. I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. Thank you for listening. We definitely appreciate it. Make sure you follow us at Slushie Review on Twitter at Slushie Review. You can also check us out on YouTube. Just search Slushie Review. We pop up. We're the first result. And then check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And also, coming soon, Instagram. Follow us on IG.
The gram.
At Slushie Review Podcast.
Yes.
We just started it. Need some followers. Need some likes. Okay. Let's get into the cast. First up, Tobey Maguire.
Hey.
Back again as Spider-Man. A lot of these are going to be back again. Spider-Man Peter Parker. Kirsten Dunst plays Mary Jane Watson. She's back again.
Womp womp.
Unfortunately. We also have James Franco. He's back as New Goblin in Harry Osborn. Next new person, Thomas Hayden Church. He's the Sandman in Flint Marco.
Yeah.
Next up after that, the guy who likes to be bad, Topher Grace. He's Venom in Eddie Brock. Next up, a newcomer, fresh face to the scene, podcast favorite character.
Yeah.
Bryce Dallas Howard plays Gwen Stacy. Same.
That wasn't creepy at all. Sorry about that.
I just went with it. Let me stop. Okay, next up, we have coming back again as Aunt May. We have Rosemary Harris. She was in it a little bit, not much.
Yeah.
Either way, next up, podcast favorite J.K. Simmons,
Definitely.
Triple J, J. Jonah Jameson. The J stands for J. Homer J. Simpson. Same.
Classic.
Playing Gwen Stacy's father is James Cromwell. He's Captain Stacy. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was like the arc of it. He was a police captain.
Yeah, honestly.
In the comics, I don't know. I mean, he's a captain in the next one.
I guess he was, yeah.
So, let's see. Skip. We have Dylan Baker. He is Dr. Kurt Connors. Unless it's important, I'm not going to say people who
That's fair.
was only in it for one scene, because I don't care. I don't know who she is either. So, next up, Bill Nunn. He's back again as Robbie Robertson, Joseph Robbie Robertson. Great guy, I love him. Le Maitre D. Back again for his third character in a row.
There it is. Different character.
Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell, he's just so great. Automatic like, obviously. Back again, we have Elizabeth Banks, Miss Rita Repulsa Brandt. Next up again, Ted Raimi. He plays Hoffman. He's the marketing guru.
The idea man.
Yeah, fair. And something we just realized, for his third film in a row, William Dafoe.
Mm-hmm.
Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. He's been in every single one of these movies, and I never knew it.
I forgot he was in this one.
He was in the second one, too.
I forgot he was in that one, too.
I had no clue.
Actually, no, I thought I remembered him being in The Mirror, but I definitely did not remember him being in this one. because they showed him in the opening credits, but they did not say his name.
It's not that I didn't remember. It's just I was like, he's in it again? Like, I just didn't. I guess I should have figured it out. But I didn't. Let's see. Stan Lee. He is man in Times Square. He actually has lines in this one.
Yes, he does.
Back again in a very small role. Michael Papa John. I don't know if you... Well, yeah, because they had to film a new scene.
Mm-hmm.
So he was in it. He was a carjacker who supposedly killed Ben Parker.
Yes.
But he didn't, apparently. Back again in one scene, Joe Manganiello, Flash Thompson, Mr. Deathstroke himself.
In a blink and you'll miss it cameo scene.
Fair. Who's Jennifer Dugan?
She was the reporter who was on the scene during like the final showdown.
Got you. Well, that's it. That is the cast.
Yeah, there's no hidden Macho Man Randy Savage cameo in this movie.
No, none.
We'll get to that later.
At all. We'll get to that later?
Yes, I will.
Oh.
No, I won't.
I was saying, are you making one?
No.
Okay, so yeah, that was the cast. And with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Chris.
All right.
For the plot.
I took some notes for this one because I knew we were going to watch another movie in between. So I definitely wrote down a couple things to get me started.
Please do.
All right. Mary Jane Watson is on Broadway, living it up, living her dream as an actress.
Living it up.
Living it on Broadway. Peter Parker is her boyfriend. They're in like good shape because she knows he's Spider-Man and knows that, whenever he's missing, like, oh, I can't make it, or oh, I gotta run out on you, it's because he's going to be Spider-Man, not because he's going to diddle somebody else. So she doesn't have to worry about him, like, being unfaithful or like him just lying to her all the time. He can be honest with her, even though there's still some stuff that goes on in this movie. So Peter goes to see Mary Jane in her play, tells her what a good job she does, and then he promptly gets swooped off the fucking streets by Harry Osborn, who has been taking his vitamins and saying his prayers.
Brooding.
Mainly that fucking goblin gas, like his old man before him, using all his enhancing his technology, pumpkin bomb batarangs, his hoverboard that doesn't have bat wings on it.
No, this is like a surfboard.
Yeah, it looks like a jet skateboard or some shit.
Snowboard.
Yeah, snowboard with like little gyro fans in it. Swoops him up off the street, and once again, it's like, you killed my dad, I'm going to kill you. Even though we're best friends, or we used to be. Not so much anymore. Sorry, I tried to steal your girlfriend before she was your girlfriend, even though I knew you liked her. But that doesn't matter. You owe me this. They get into a rumble, and Harry gets hit on the head with a coconut and loses his memory. and so spends a good chunk of this movie with amnesia. At least short-term amnesia. He knows his dad's dead. He eventually remembers that Spider-Man's responsible and remembers who Spider-Man is. But like, he forgets about him going out with MJ. He forgets that he's a rich kid. I think he forgets that... Does he forget that Peter was with MJ? Or like that he loved her before he got with her? Because as soon as the two of them hit a rough patch, he is all over her. Or he tries to be. By cooking some food. Anywho, he loses his memory.
Well, she was in the rough patch, and she went over his house.
Yeah, I meant Peter and MJ, not Harry and MJ.
Oh, okay,
is what I
okay.
meant by they, sorry.
I don't know. So that was a little confusing to me. Not confusing, but when you said it, how did he remember that his dad was dead, but he forgot a lot of the other stuff?
They did like a mini flashback of him getting his memory back, like once he started remembering things. I think he was like, my dad's dead. Like when he was in the hospital bed. I don't remember him saying that in the movie earlier in the movie, but I know that happened. A thing. He was like, my dad's dead. And Peter was like, yeah, and he loved you. And then like he grabbed his head and started having like his more flashback things about like seeing Spider-Man. But
what?
Yeah.
Does that happen?
Yes. It was like a really short thing.
I thought the only thing, he woke up and he told Peter he didn't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mary Jane came in.
Yeah, and he's like, I know that face.
And he's like, I know that face. And then he was just like, oh, my friends. And then the nurse was like, all right, you gotta go.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't remember him saying it earlier in that scene, but like at that point in the movie, he's like, oh, my dad's gone.
He said
And
that?
yeah, like Harry's like, my dad's gone, and Peter's like, yeah, and he loved you or something like that. And I don't think they said it earlier in the movie, but they said it there, which was a little
In the
odd.
hospital.
They didn't say it in the hospital scene, but later in the movie when Harry like started getting his memory back, they did like a little weird flashback thing where he said that to Peter, and I don't think they said it in the hospital scene earlier. So yeah, it was a little weird.
Okay, I think that was a flashback of Spider-Man 2, because he told him that after his dad was dead.
Mm.
But what I'm saying is, why didn't he remember his dad was dead before? I'm talking about his dad, not about Peter.
Mm.
Because his dad died, and he thought he was Spider-Man the day he died.
Yeah.
He thought...
He knew Spider-Man killed his dad.
Yeah,
then,
but he was super cool.
but he didn't remember who. Maybe he just didn't remember Peter's connection to Spider-Man.
Maybe not, but remember, he didn't know that till the end of Spider-Man 2.
Well, I mean, like the photography connection, not like knew who he was. Because at that point, he already hated him because he thought he was holding out on,
Right.
like, defending Spider-Man.
But he hated him just to hate him.
Yeah.
But he didn't hate him in that short-term memory part.
Yeah,
He didn't
so-
hering Spider-Man.
Harry's a dick.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
he,
like
it was like
the Spider-Man hate didn't really come up.
Yeah, he was like super happy.
Because he was busy remembering how bad they were at basketball,
Yeah, he was
And-
doing all the other things.
cooking eggs to
Yeah.
the twist.
So when you said that, I'm like, no, he didn't remember his dad was dead at all. So, yeah, whatever. I'm sorry.
No,
I'll
you're
cut
good.
you off because I'm trying to figure some shit out. But
You're
go
good.
ahead.
So, MJ, okay, Harry loses memory. Him and Peter like become friends again after not being for a little bit. MJ gets fired from the play that she's on after a bad review. After what she sees as one bad review, but apparently every paper in town in New York printed that she was shit.
My paper did.
So, the Keith Anderson Bugle
Same.
printed out that
Facts.
Mary Jane Watson is a turd on stage and screen, and we hates her.
Same.
So she gets fired and is not in a good place, and she can't handle the rejection, and Peter tries to cheer her up by relating to her as Spider-Man. Like, oh, well, you know, Spider-Man catches a lot of shit too, but I don't know how to get to me. And she's like, yeah, but you're not me. You're not listening to me. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I can see it from her side, I guess. But because he's trying to stay positive. He's trying to like, give her positive messages, but all she wants is like, why can't you just hear me? And he's like, okay, I'm sorry.
That's a thing.
I have to go be Spider-Man now, though, like we agreed on. Is that still cool?
It's a real thing.
And so he goes, and it wasn't cool between them because she eventually, you know, goes back to being a waitress at a jazz club, which she never tells anybody about. She didn't want to tell Harry about it in the first movie because she thought he was going to judge her for being a waitress. She doesn't tell Peter about it in this one because she's afraid he'll, I don't know, think less of her.
I don't think she had time.
She had time to leave him voicemails and call him or not answer his voicemails. She could have told him.
No, that was after the waitress scene. I remember because, so like, she didn't tell him about getting fired because it was a parade the next day. And then she got the job as a waitress, and then they went out after he kissed Gwen. And then that's when, yeah, it was a little bit after. So she didn't really have time.
Yeah, they were at dinner, and she got mad at him. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah, she didn't really have, to be fair, she didn't have time. I'm only sticking her for this once.
how dare you?
That's
This
it.
is not what I expected.
This is it.
not
This
how I
is one
expected.
time. It's
This isn't going to go how you expect this to go. This isn't going to go how you think this is going to go.
That's it. That's all. I'm done.
I didn't see that coming.
That's it.
Okay, so MJ loses her job on the play, gets a
she's
job as a
trash.
singing waitress because she's trash, Brock.
Back in the good graces.
Yeah, we're cool again. She loses her job as a singing waitress at a jazz club, becomes one. young upstart photographer Eddie Brock hits the scene and is trying to scoop Peter Parker on all of his Spider-Man photos. So anytime Spider-Man's around, he's taking photos, shit-talking Peter Parker to Spider-Man, telling him that his photos make him look bloated, a little chunky, and that, he can do better. You don't have to worry about that anymore. Well, Eddie Brock's a piece of shit photographer and person because he just is. He's a plagiarist. He's a thief.
Yes.
He's trash. Eddie Brock is at the time seeing Gwen Stacy, who gets saved by Spider-Man.
Is he?
They had coffee. He tells her father that he's seeing her.
Yes.
And then she's like, we had a great night. And she's like, we had coffee. And he's like, we had coffee, Brock.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's seeing her in that he sees her with his eyes. And they have seen each other having coffee. Spider-Man saves her during a modeling shoot gone awry with an out-of-control crane involved. He saves her, and then later at a Spider-Man celebration parade, he kisses her in front of the crowd. He does the Spider-Man kiss with her. He just comes down in front of her, like Spidey swings in and webs down upside down, and everyone's like, kiss him, because the city of New York can yell at you and you'll do anything, apparently.
Fair.
Or you feel like you have to, otherwise they'll fucking turn on you. So he's like, go ahead, lay one on me. And they do the Spider-Man kiss, and everyone loves it, and Mary Jane is in the crowd, and she's pissed. And she's not having it. So Peter goes and sees Aunt May, gets her ring without asking for it. She gives him her ring that Uncle Ben gave her and says, you're going to propose to her, give her this. He goes to the restaurant, sets up the whole thing with Bruce Campbell. He's going to bring the ring out when he signals. Gwen shows up, turns into a big fight, even though, Peter's like, she's just a girl in my class. Like, she's not a thing. It doesn't matter. And MJ's like, oh, you kissed her? Who kissed her? You or Spider-Man? Who kissed this girl that is a girl in your class that doesn't mean anything to you? Who gave you the key to the city? And it turns into a whole thing. They don't get engaged. And Peter... Oh, the big part of the movie I fucking glossed over. When him and MJ are still in good graces, a meteor falls out of the sky when they're stargazing, and the black symbiote Venom, who would become known as Venom, emerges from the meteorite, sticks to his moped, follows him home from school, hangs out in his apartment, and then eventually starts turning him evil. It senses his aggression and his negative emotions, latches onto him, and man, there's a lot in this movie, and I'm just realizing how much of it I'm missing. Flint Marko, another character another character who I glossed over, is seen to be a man on the run from the law, escapes from jail, falls into what was it? Molecular
I have no idea.
Something molecular destabilization science experiment.
Sounds about right.
It gets turned into a Sandman of sorts. A man of sand. Nice. He's coarse and he's rough and he gets everywhere.
He doesn't have a guitar.
And he doesn't have a kendo stick or a cigarette or a beer when he comes down to the ring either. He's not the ECW Sandman. He's just a man made out of sand.
That's fair.
And he killed Uncle Ben.
Supposedly.
Through a cruel retcon, we learned that he was the sidekick of the man who was believed to have killed Uncle Ben in the carjacking in the first movie. Mm-hmm. It is revealed this is the guy who pulled the trigger. So, black suit Spider-Man, aggressive Spider-Man is out there cracking heads and kicking asses and decides he's going to find the man. Chickless in the commish style. And he's out there punching him in the mush, see? Spider-Man's super hard-boiled at this point. And he is out there just finding people, taking names and kicking ass.
Kicking names and
taking ass. That's what we do.
Same.
And he finds the guy and gives him what for. Finds out he's got sand powers because he's robbing a bank because he wants to get his kids back. He wants to find his daughter. His daughter's sick and he needs money for her, so he's going to rob banks. Spider-Man catches him. They have a kerfuffle in the back of an armored car, which eventually leads to Black Suit Spider-Man thinking he kills him underground by hitting him with a lot of water And he's like kind of melts him, or he like disintegrates and gets washed away. Okay. Now I think we're back where I needed to be. Spider-Man's semi-evil, or at least indulging some of his darker impulses, or more like aggressive impulses. He becomes a dancing fool and decides he's going to start dating Gwen Stacy, kind of just to make MJ jealous. They go to the restaurant that MJ works at to purposely flaunt his stuff in front of her in a wild piano number / dance routine / bar fight where he accidentally hits her. Realizes this isn't who I want to be. This is not who I should become, and has to get rid of the suit. Realizes he's wearing the suit when it happens underneath his clothes. Like, I got to get rid of this thing. Removes the suit via methods we'll talk about later. The symbiote attaches to young Eddie Brock, who stole a job from Peter earlier in the movie, and then Peter exposed him as a fraud. Got the job back from him. So now Eddie Brock's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got it off from Peter Parker, who he later learns is Spider-Man. And then he himself becomes Venom. There's a lot more stuff. I'm a fucking mess on this movie. To be fair, there was a lot going on.
There was a
lot of ins, a lot of outs. There's a lot happening in this movie. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of people had problems with the movie because there was so much.
Yeah. So there's Venom, there's Sandman, and the Goblin, the new Goblin, Harry. All of them have it out for Spider-Man, even though Sandman's kind of like a passive force at this point. He's like, I got my money. I'm not actively seeking out this guy. Until it turns out that he is, because he finds Venom, Eddie Brock, and says, I've been looking for you. And they decide, hey, let's team up. We both hate Spider-Man. Let's work together.
Fair.
Harry does his best to break up MJ and Peter for good. Harry and Peter have a fight. Peter burns him up, burns his face up with a fucking pumpkin grenade that he threw at him himself, and he just whips back at him, blows his face up, gives him a little nice scar. And Harry decides, I'm just going to hide in my house the rest of this movie and be a burned up freak until MJ's in danger, and Peter's like, hey, I need your help. You came to the wrong house. Get out. Peter's like, fine, I'll go fight both these guys myself. Sandman and Venom. Since the Goblin's apparently out of the equation, it's just 2-on-1. Mm-hmm. Harry shows up, helps him out. MJ gets saved, unfortunately. Everybody goes home happy. Except for Eddie Brock. He doesn't go home. At all.
Neither does Harry.
Harry doesn't make it either. So, there, like I said, a lot of stuff happens in this movie. I was a mess with it. There's your plot. Poorly done. Let's get in some likes.
I loved it.
Ugh. I loved watching it, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, your plot was great. It was a good time.
I appreciate that.
Let's get to some likes.
You want to tag team it?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. I like the tag team likes.
Yeah, did you
like that? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm down.
So when we first started doing it, I thought we had to be the same ones, but we don't really have to.
No.
You're just like, oh yeah, I agree.
We just kind of like go back and forth because we always like jump in and on each other's anyway. Yeah. So
follow me.
Let's do it.
You want to still go first?
Sure. First thing I wrote down: web clothesline from hell. When Harry is chasing Peter through that little tiny alleyway, and he's got pumpkin grenades, he's got his flying goblin board, he's got a fucking sword, he's got like little mini rockets and all kinds of shit, and Peter just wants to get away from him, and he's like running, and at a certain point I was like, alright, fuck this, and it's like across the alleyway, sets up this little line, and just ding, hits it. Harry's hitting it full speed, clothesline from hell, takes him off his board, then he like cracks his head on a pipe or some shit and loses his memory. I thought it was great just because of what it was. Also, Harry's a dick, and I liked seeing him get it.
Fair. Well,
he had it coming.
That's fair. My like is Harry as well. It's two-parter. Harry's turn, and then Harry's the Goblin outfit. I like him as a new Goblin. Thought he was sweet.
He didn't look bad.
Liked his outfit. He actually wore the mask that we were talking about in the beginning. It looks so fucking good. And then his turn, honestly, if I'm going to say something controversial. I think he had the better arc through 3 movies than Peter Parker did. In my opinion. Because he never really was the good guy from the very beginning.
That's fair.
Even though he kind of was, he was on the good guy's side.
Like he wasn't actively doing bad things.
He wasn't actively doing bad things.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. He used Peter Parker's knowledge to get MJ to like him more.
Yeah.
Then he didn't help him fight.
Yeah.
Whatever, which is understandable. Whatever.
He rode his father's coattails.
Even in college, then he started dating MJ,
Yeah.
even though he knew Peter Parker liked her. I forgot why they broke up in the first one.
Harry and MJ?
Yeah. I don't remember. But whatever it was.
Well, first she broke up with Flash.
Yeah, that was
being
the
a
beginning.
bully. And then she ended up with Harry, who... Didn't she, like, kind of leave him because she fell in love with Spider-Man?
Maybe. I thought it was something else. But either way. So then... whatever, then his dad dies. And then the second one, he's okay, but he's pissed off at Spider-Man. Then he wants Spider-Man killed because Spider-Man ruined his thing with Doc Ock. So he blamed him for that. So that's like he's turning. Then he's like, I'll kill him myself. That's his ultimate turn. And then when he finds out it's Peter Parker, he's like, okay. Then he's just getting hints from his dead dad to become God. Because at the end of the movie,
Harry was going crazy.
Harry was going crazy, but he was good, and I loved it.
That's
just
fair.
his whole entire arc, and then becoming good again, but he actually did become good.
Yeah.
Was great. He had a complete arc.
Yeah. That's fair.
And I think Peter Parker got away with some shit that he shouldn't have.
Like what?
Well, everything that he did was bad. What happened to him?
What did he do that was bad?
When he was black suit.
Okay. Yeah, because at the end of the movie, he's like, I did terrible things too.
He did terrible things, but nothing happened.
Like, what did he do? Like, he danced. He, like, embarrassed MJ.
He hit MJ.
That's fair, yeah.
He tried to kill the Sandman because you said he got the money. Sandman didn't get the money.
No, like he had the money like in the bag, and then Peter like fucking wiped his face with a train.
Yeah, because he had money twice. He had money in the first time they fought.
He got away the first time. Didn't
Not
he?
with the money. The money was still in the truck. So that's why he had to get more money the second time, and he never got. So when you're like, he's not actively looking for Spider-Man. No, he wasn't. But he wasn't happy with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because he never got his money.
Like I said, shit plot on my end.
No. That's fair. But he did that. What else did he do? That was bad. He tried to kill him. Then he tried to kill Harry. He blew up Harry as a black suit.
That's
not
fair.
saying he didn't deserve it, but that's not Spider-Man. Spider-Man would never do that.
That's fair.
So I just kind of feel like he didn't really get any.
He yelled at his landlord.
He yelled at his landlord, and they
Although
gave
he
him a
apologized
pass.
for him. He apologized.
But he gave him a pass before that. He was like, "Oh,
He
that's a
offered
good
him an
kid."
orange.
He's like, "Oh, he's a good kid. He must be in trouble."
Yeah. Good man, the landlord, honestly, for seeing through that shit. Because prior to that, the landlord was kind of a dick to him. He's like,
his ass
rent. Where's my money? You want to use the bathroom? Pay me. Want to use the phone? Where's my money?
Again, was the landlord a dick?
I mean, not necessarily if he's missing his money.
He ain't got my money.
But, like, he went from that was his only interaction with him to be like, oh, he's a good kid. He must be in trouble. I was like, that's kind of a good, that's like a good guy move.
I was just saying the landlord was never wrong.
No. But, like, you can be wrong and not be a dick.
Shit.
You can be right and not be a dick.
You got my money. I could be Stewie.
You got my money, man.
You could be Stewie.
You got my money.
How you want it?
How much you pay for that fake mustache?
You want?
You got money to pay for fake mustache. You don't got money to pay me.
Listen, you owe me rent in New York. I'm gonna be annoying.
And to be fair, that apartment building was fucking depressing.
Same.
Depressing.
So I need my money.
You're gonna love this.
I'm all cool with him being a dick.
Peter, you're gonna love this apartment. It's real fucked up. Where's my rent, motherfucker? Don't try that falling down the stairs shit with me. Your rent's doing the 14.
Right. So when he locked him out of the bathroom, this bathroom is for rent payers.
Yeah.
Listen,
Also, who wants a fucking shared bathroom in an apartment complex? That's
who wants that?
gross.
But guess what? If you want it, you gotta pay me my money.
Honestly, if they were like, hey, you can share a bathroom with a bunch of strangers, or you can continue living in your aunt's house, I'm like, I'd probably stay in my aunt's house.
Same.
Honestly.
The commute's murder.
The smell of fresh baked cookies waking up every morning, it's a bitch, let me tell you. You'll hate it. Oatmeal raisin. You're going to hate it.
My first like. I know, I was thinking about that The Office episode where he goes, shit, what does he say? He's like, that dim light is a bitch.
The sea monster.
The sea monster.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
Also T-Bone.
Yes. Almost definitely.
You got fat butt disease. Do you have fat butt disease, Michael? No.
Tell your girl shut up. All right, that was my like. Harry. Next like.
Nice. My next like, easy. J. Jonah Jameson.
Same.
Because how can it not be?
Fair.
Every time he gets riled up, Miss Elizabeth Banks. I don't remember her character's name. Miss Brandt. Hits his fucking intercom. His whole desk shakes with all his like pills and Pepto-Bismol and all this shit. Boss, your wife wanted me to tell you, watch your blood pressure, watch that anger. Oh, you tell her I said. Thank you. Love it.
Great guy.
You gotta take time to take your pill. Not that one. Not that one. And he gets there and he opens it up. And they fucking go everywhere.
Fair.
Hilarious.
Fair.
And that fucking idiot, I can't remember his name, but the idea man.
Hoffman.
Yes, Hoffman's like the Daily Bugle. It's hip, it's now, and it's wow. Yeah, he's like, I came up with that. And he's like, it stinks.
It's the worst.
I hate it. In fact, you're fired. Get out of my office. I love J. Jonah Jameson. He's hilarious. And then at the end, when he's trying to, since he has no photographers on payroll at the Daily Bugle at this point in the movie, he's trying to photograph the big Spider-Man versus Venom and Sandman fight, and he has no camera. And there's the small child next to him in the crowd, and he's like, how much for the camera? $100. Oh, you can't do that. No. Gives her $100. There's no film in this thing. Film's extra. Ooh, yeah. Got him.
To be fair, he had Peter.
That was hilarious.
Because he called for him.
He did, but he didn't. He wasn't there. He was busy getting his ass beat.
He was busy. But Peter was his photographer, because that's another thing he did. Black Suit Peter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he
took the job
extorted him
back
out of his job.
Yes.
Well, a job he never had.
Yeah.
But he extorted him.
Yeah,
He's like, I'll take it for double pay.
For extra money and the staff job. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did take the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did have a. Yeah. He did have a photographer on the payroll, but not one that wasn't currently getting his ass beat.
Facts.
In the thing he was trying to photograph.
Fair.
So I thought that was great. He was trying to, the little kid fucking extorts like minimum $100. What did she get, like $150 out of him for the camera and film?
I don't think she ever said the price for the film.
But she at least got $100 out of him.
Yeah, for sure.
Great.
Right, good for her.
Capitalism, apparently.
Gotta love it. Or you just gotta live with
don't.
it. That's fair. Let's see, my next, the Spider-Man New Goblin first fight, the CGI looks so good. I thought there was a big step up.
With the ring involved and everything?
With who?
The ring.
The ring. Oh, yeah. Yeah, with the ring involved. I thought it was a big step up from the first and the second one. You can tell the difference. Just Spider-Man looked good. There were a lot of quick cuts.
Even the opening sequence of him just swinging through the city at the very beginning of the movie looked so good.
Yeah, it did. And it's honestly, for me personally, from this movie on, every Spider-Man looks good. The CGI looks good. Them swinging in the web, it looks it looks realistic more than anything. The first two were good as well, but they weren't bad. But you can tell the difference. Yeah. All right, that was my like.
All right, my next one, Stan Lee cameo, another short one. Stan Lee cameo.
Nice.
Because it's just short and sweet. It's like, wow, I guess one man really can make a difference.
He did say that.
And then he just walks off.
Like him.
I'm like, who the hell are you, old man?
Sam.
Nothing.
Thank you for the words of wisdom.
Yeah, and it's a step above what he did in the last one, because he just literally blink and you'll miss it, pulls up someone out of the way from some falling debris, and that's it.
Yeah, fair.
And who was he in the first Spider-Man? And it was another really quick.
Did he do an interview or something, or it was just a camera pass?
I don't even think he had lines. I think he was just in a shot somewhere.
Yeah, you might be right.
because I think this is one of his first cameos where he spoke.
Yeah.
Because in the X-Men movies, or at least the first X-Men movie, he did not speak. He was like the hot dog guy at the beach. Then he was, I don't remember who he was in the second one. I know we talked about this before. And the third one, he was the guy with the hose outside of Jean's house, and the water starts floating up in the air. Great. And I mean, of course, Mallrats, he had actual lines, but that wasn't a cameo. That was him. That was him as himself with a part of the movie. It wasn't like a real quick scene.
Fair.
But yeah, Stan Lee.
Stan Lee, he was one of mine too. Agreed. Next, like for me, Gwen Stacy.
Same. That was going to be my next one.
I just love her. I love that. Simple. I do. I'm a lover so much in the next one. She's my first like in the next one.
Yeah.
Or will be my first like in the next one. Wink. Yeah, I like her character the most. But I like that Bryce Dallas Howard. She's cool.
Bryce Dallas Howard is pretty cool.
She's
again, I only really know her from this and Jurassic World.
Jurassic World.
And
she did
her directorial work in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Which was
I
great.
think she did. I know she did. I think she did an episode with Sasha. I'm pretty sure. And then she did the episode where they were on the planet and they had to take down the, not Tauntauns, what are those things called? The Walkers? Not Imperial Walkers.
Yeah.
What were they?
The
two-legged ones?
ATSTs.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. I think she did that episode. That's the one where he took off his helmet in front of somebody for the first time. Or whatever. Yeah, didn't he take it off in front of the lady who couldn't speak or something? I don't remember.
I forget.
He was falling in love with somebody, but yes, it was a lady who ran the camp, I guess, or something, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah, where they wanted to get him to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she ended up saying I can't think of her name. She used to be an MMA fighter.
Oh, Gina Carano?
Yeah, Gina Carano.
And then she left anyway.
Well,
I mean, like, she left the camp anyway.
Oh. Also.
Well.
Either way.
Ooh. Tough room.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yes.
That's my like.
What's not to like? Honestly, I agree. I thought Gwen Stacy was great.
Sure. She was great.
Because
sorry, not to cut you off, but to cut you off. She was great at the end when Peter decided to use her as bait for Mary Jane, and she was like, "You did this for her." And went up to Mary Jane and was like, "I am so sorry that I did not want to be involved in this. I had no clue." She said something super short. I'm extending it. She said, "Listen, I love you. I'm just doing this for appearances. You're my bro." Said that all that with one look. Like, that's she was just like, "Dude, I didn't know." And then when she saw Mary Jane, she was like, "Wait, isn't that your old girlfriend?" He's like, "Yeah, we should leave."
Yeah, do you want to go somewhere else?
Nah.
No, watch this.
Yeah, she was wholesome.
Yeah.
And
She
not
was.
wholesome. So, yeah.
And she wasn't Mary Jane.
It's, well, fair.
Which is only a positive. On this podcast, is only a positive.
That's fair. But she's not like a not Mary Jane, like a not Pam situation. She's a not Mary Jane, but it's good.
Yeah.
And then, like, Karen was just not Pam. And it's just...
Karen didn't do anything else wrong besides not
she
being
did nothing
Pam.
wrong. But I saw your tweet. I loved it.
But she just wasn't Pam.
At
the time.
She was... I didn't like her, though.
No?
I liked her up until a point. Then she was like, "I'm sorry you had to sit through that, blah, blah, at the fire, or at the beach games." No, not beach games. To find a replacement for Michael.
Yeah.
"I'm sorry you had to sit through that." She was like, "That's okay. We speak without knowing what we're talking about." She was like, "No, I know what I want to talk about." She's like, "Yeah, but you didn't really want to say that." She was like, "No, I really wanted to say that. I'm just sorry that I did it in front of you because that must be awkward." And then she goes to the camera like, "Pam's kind of a bitch." I was like, "Girl,
Pam's kind of a bitch.
Calm down, Karen."
Well, I think, at that point, she was also well aware that Pam wanted to be with Jim. And Jim
wanted to be with Pam.
Wanted to be with Pam and not with her. So, yeah, she was mad, obviously, rightfully.
Listen, if I feel like my significant other wants to be with somebody else, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. To be fair...
We're only going to talk about it once.
To be fair, Jim lied to her.
Yeah, but he came with the truth, though.
When she said, "Do you have feelings for her?" the first time.
Yes.
He lied to her.
After the sales competition?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then...
Yeah, 'cause she's like, I moved here for you.
But then during Christmas, though...
Yeah.
He was like, yes.
Yeah. After it was already, like, well into it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
But then they still stayed together for, like, 6 more episodes.
Yeah.
So he didn't really lie. She knew the truth.
No, he lied to her the first time.
Yeah, but that was the first time.
Yeah.
But,
Fool me once.
well, what I'm saying is...
Shame on you.
Okay, you lie to me. If that's the understanding I got, is that you aren't lying to me, okay, I'm going to go with that information. Once I find out the truth, though, it's my fault if I stay.
Yeah.
Because if I think you like somebody else and you're my significant other, we're going to have this conversation once.
That's also fair.
Once. We're not having a conversation twice. We will never. But she was like, I'm just going to talk them out of it. No, that's dumb. Don't ever try to change somebody if they don't want to change.
That's fair.
I'm not. That's not the game I play.
That's fair.
Like, oh, you like him? Okay, well, cool. You
Right,
can move
yeah.
out.
Bye.
They didn't live together.
No.
None of it.
No.
Jim
I mean,
was
that's
not-
fair. They were red flags thrown up by Jim that Karen chose not to respond to. That's fair.
And then she got Pam a bitch when she wasn't really being a bitch. So
That's fair. So I guess Karen did one thing wrong.
that's one too many. Fool me once, strike 3.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I'm gonna.
No, you're
I'm
good.
gonna stick up for Pam, at least in that part.
Somebody should.
Then the next part, Pam, I can't stick up for her. She was being an idiot when Jim started the company.
Philly Pam.
I thought, yeah, she was being dumb. Then she tried to get with old boy, and then she acted like she wasn't giving him hints of whatever.
What was his name? Shit.
I don't fucking know. He was an idiot.
The
too.
camera guy. No, the boom guy. The boom mic guy.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. I had a relationship like that where I didn't know that shit was going down. Like, where it's like, oh, you're upset with me? And it's like, we have to talk about these things. Like, you're upset with me, I'm upset with you. If we don't talk about these things, nothing will ever get solved. And we broke up. So, there's that. Yeah, but like,
You also weren't on a TV show where everything worked out for you.
was I wasn't.
Oh.
I wasn't.
Were you? Are we?
He doesn't know. No, just looking to the wall. He doesn't know.
Who said that?
I don't know where we're at, but Gwen Stacy was my like.
I agreed, yes. You next or me next?
You.
Bruce Campbell, my next like. He's French. He calls him Peter Pecker.
He says
Hilarious. Yeah, he says he's French. Like, I know romance. I'm French. I know romance. He pulls out the ring like, hello. Hello. Hilarious.
Puts his
He
glasses
got his little
on.
mustache. He takes his glasses, put out the look at the ring.
hilarious.
He's got his little drawn-on grease pencil mustache. He's great.
He is. He's been a joy to see in every movie.
Honestly, yes.
Yeah, fair.
'Cause he's like, I'll signal you, and we'll put. You bring out. He's like, oh, we put the ring in the champagne. Yes, we do. Oh, of course, sir. We do that. And every time, like, he so much as scratched his nose at that table, like 2 dudes came in with the tray, and he like waves them off each time. He's like, no, no. And then MJ gets up and walks out, and he just brings it right to the table and sets it down.
So good.
Hilarious.
I love it.
Great.
Tiger?
I was looking forward to seeing him every time because I knew when he was coming up. I was like, this is it. This is it. It's Bruce Campbell.
That's fair.
I just think he's hilarious.
Tiger?
Because I really only know him from these, and I never really watched the Evil Dead movies. I think I watched like one of the Army of Darkness movies, and I watched the Ash vs. Evil Dead show, where it's just like him with his fucking chainsaw hand. And I think there's an episode where he's a hand puppet, or no, he has a hand puppet of himself that also has a chainsaw for a hand. And it turns evil and like he has to fight it, and it's dumb as shit. And there's like just tons of blood and stupidity throughout it. And it was pretty funny. It was like purposely campy and over the top.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I was like, Bruce Campbell.
I wonder if he's in a movie called Send Me to Hell. I'm pretty sure Sam Raimi did that. And Justin Long's in it actually. And that was like the second movie I saw Justin Long in. The first one was Jeepers Creepers. Then I saw that. Then I saw Accepted. So like
And Dodgeball.
I
mean,
that's
like
probably a little
later
bit
on,
Yeah,
yeah.
for me at least.
Yeah.
I didn't see it when it first came out. But yeah, I love
Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers was my movie.
I remember that being on like a couple months straight, Saturday afternoon movies on like Fox or NBC.
Pretty sure that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
One of the best movies I've ever seen. Just a great movie through and through.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do scary movies because they aren't scary to me. So
I usually don't do scary movies because they are scary to me.
I just don't think they're scary. I like movies with a lot of suspense. That scares me more than anything because I'm just jumping out of my seat every 5 seconds. I'm like, God damn it. It's not necessarily scary, but it's, suspenseful.
Right.
Me? But that movie was just so fucking good. And it was so fucking cheesy. And the second one's even worse. Oh.
He blows out the bus tires. Does that thing have a belly button on it?
Yes. You've seen the second one.
I've seen more of the second one than I have the first one.
Me and my friend, we saw Jeepers Creepers 2. And I remember the best part about it was when they're at the bus.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, did you see it? Did you see it? And the guy's looking up. And he goes, he flew away. And like, that's it. And it's the dumbest shit. So me and my friend used to say that to each other like every day. Like, he flew away. I swear to God, if I saw her today, I would say that to her. We'd bust out laughing because it's the funniest shit in the world. Because it's dumb. But I don't know how we got on this. But anyway.
Bruce Campbell was our segue into the talking about horror movies.
Yeah, he did Send Me to Hell. It was about this girl who got Justin Long's girlfriend got cursed or something, and I want to say it was like a gypsy woman, something. She put a curse on her because she cut her in line or cut her off or something, and she was all pissy. And the girl was, and then the gypsy woman was like, "Okay, I put a curse on you. You're gonna go to hell." Blah blah. And then she got away from the curse at the end, and then she's going out of town or something. They're done with the curse. They're like, okay, no curse, cool. The whole movie was her almost about to die every 5 seconds. And then at the end, the curse is over with. The time limit is over with. And then she's going out of town for school or business. She had a train station with Justin Long. They're sitting there, happiness. She trips at some point, falls in front of the train. She does not get hit by a train. The fucking train tracks open up and she goes to hell.
Oh, damn.
Hilarious. The funniest shit because she said something so fucking ridiculous in the movie. When I was watching it, I bust out laughing in the middle of the theater. I think I saw it in theaters. I was like, that is the dumbest shit ever. She says something like, she doesn't say this, but this is what I think of when she looks at the old woman. She goes, "Google me, bitch," and like it's real, like just dumb. And you're like, I was watching it like, okay, this is funny, but funny in a I'm laughing at you kind of way. But I love it. But I think Sam Raimi did that movie too. Fuck that movie. It was great though. Either way, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Sorry.
Your turn.
Oh, me. I like Miss Brandt, Elizabeth Banks. She's always been one of my favorites in every movie she's been in. I loved her. Loved her in Power Rangers. Loved her in 4-Year-Old Virgin. She was always good. I just thought she was funny. She's always funny to me in these movies. All three of them, she was just hilarious. Even when she doesn't have that many lines, she's funny with Jay Jonah.
Yes.
Hilarious. And then she said something to Brock earlier, and hilarious. Then bad Peter Parker flirting with her, and she's all just giggles.
Oh, Peter.
Like, yeah, I'm just like
Peter Pecker.
Christ. Same. But yeah, I just like her.
Peter Pecker.
So that was just a one-off character I liked. So I'll let you go.
All right, I'm going to do another one-off character for this movie, Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
Like you said, I like that he's been in all three. He's been in like a presence in each movie, and I appreciate that. because a lot of comic book movies are like, all right, villain in the first movie's gone, let's never bring him up again.
That's fair.
Or like if the villain in the second movie is like his son or related to him or in some way in the second or third movie, they're like, all right, let's mention him then, but like never again. He's been in all three of these in some way or another, and I like it. I like Willem Dafoe. I like that he looks like a crazy old guy. I loved that fucking framed portrait of him in the mansion, and I was like, I would get rid of that Michael Richards poster on my wall for that in a heartbeat. And you were like, yeah, of myself, and I was like, no, of Willem Dafoe. I would get that size portrait of fucking a poster of Willem Dafoe on my wall. In that, I would put it up there. Easy.
I want an oil painting of myself.
There you go. I'm sure you could commission one.
Oh, I know where I can get one from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not worth it though.
You got a guy or a girl?
No,
or a person?
it's called Paint Your Life. It's I'm not sponsoring it. But other podcasts I listen to use it as a sponsor, and it's like it's an oil paint, but it's not like a velvet oil painting. It's just like a painting,
like a print of a painting.
No, they paint it. They do actual paintings on it, but it's not like a velvet like his kind of poster, like a Ghostbusters kind of thing. It's not that
Ghostbusters portrait.
It's just like on canvas, and they actually paint it. So seems nice, but I want a creepy one where the eyes move.
You could have like a big collar,
a
big frilly collar or some shit.
No, I want to look. No, I don't want to look like a king. I don't know how I want to look. I haven't thought that far.
Just dress up like Dracula.
Just my face. That's it. Just, I don't even want that. I don't know what I want. It's too hard. I'm out now. I don't want it anymore.
I
want me in a Black Panther costume.
Ooh.
Holding some kind of scepter.
It's a portrait of me taking the bull by the horns.
Same.
It's a metaphor for how I run my business. Also really happened once. Classic.
All right. My turn.
Yes.
Eddie Brock.
There you go.
Villain. I like him. He isn't as bad as everyone made it seem. We talked about that during the movie.
Agreed. Myself included.
Yeah, because even when you said that line, it wasn't as bad as I thought.
Which part?
When he says,
I like being bad.
I like being bad.
It makes me happy.
Yeah. Like, every time you used to say it, it made it sound like it was, like, super cheesy.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah. I was like,
It's just fun to ham it up sometimes.
No, fair. But I thought, like, because I didn't remember it, I thought the way you said it was the way you said it.
Honestly, same. I was waiting for it, and it was like, oh, that's not how it came out.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. It's like Darth Vader, no, right?
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah. What else would he put?
Didn't say yippee.
Yeah. Who says that?
I was like, he wouldn't say it, so, like, what else are you going to say?
Like, I don't get why people don't like him, but I understand. Like, he wasn't the best villain, but also, he wasn't as bad as everybody made it seem.
No.
So, and I liked him as a villain. He painted him as a villain from the beginning.
Yeah.
He never was good. And he was never going to be good. Mm-mm. So his disappearing, dying act at the end made sense to me. So.
Yeah, there's nothing left for him.
Eddie Brock.
Fair. My next, I just wrote Spider Day Night Fever. Because the dancing scene was great. As much as I and other people loved to hate on it back in the day, honestly, watching it now, it's just enjoyable.
It is.
Because it's campy. All these three movies have been pretty campy, and they've been pretty upfront about the fact that they are just fairly goofy at some points.
Fair.
And this was no different. No. He went from being like nerdy little Peter Parker to he gets like his first little taste of, not even like his first taste of power, because like once he becomes Spider-Man, yeah, like he gets famous because like prior to this, everyone in New York is like, oh, the people are like, oh, Spider-Man's cool, but the man is like, oh, Spider-Man's evil. And then eventually, like, everyone comes around. He gets the key to the city. He's got all these fans. Everyone's got Spider-Man balloons and Halloween costumes. Like, oh, I'm cool. And then he gets like the black suit. He's like, oh man, yeah, they're right. I am great. Yeah. And suddenly, women are looking at him. He's like dancing down the street. Or no, before he starts dancing down the street, he's just like walking, and like women are like, look at that. I want some of that. Like all these women are like, kind of giving him eyes. And then he pops his collar up and starts dancing on the street, and they are disgusted by him, and I love it. Like he's pointing at them, he's pointing at them, and they're like, they're like turning away a little bit, or maybe he's coming on too strong.
So I thought that too, but then if you look, especially when they turn the camera around, they're still like, okay,
yeah,
they're
like,
kind of
like, oh, this guy, but maybe,
but also,
yeah, I liked it.
Got kind of a nice butt.
It's like.
The Spider-Man's ass. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that was in the next one. So that's New York status.
Still.
But yes, Saturday Night Fever Spider-Man. I enjoyed it. Also, because actually it wasn't even Saturday Night Fever Spider-Man. It was Saturday Night Fever Peter Parker. I liked Peter Parker in this movie, as well as I liked Spider-Man in this movie, because, like I've said before, I've said in the past that I thought there were times where Tobey Maguire is a better Peter Parker than he is a Spider-Man. Which is not to say that he's a bad Spider-Man. I enjoyed him as both. But in this movie, I thought he was good in both. Especially in this one, I thought he was good. He was good in both roles. But when he was dancing around, come on, it's hard for me to hate that anymore. I wasted enough time in my life hating on that scene. Now it's one of my favorite GIFs, whatever, to send anybody.
I never hated on the scene. I just looked at it like, oh.
I think at one point in my life, I was like, man, that's dumb. Why would he dance? Like, oh, suddenly you got like your darkest nature coming out, or like your innermost desires, and you start dancing. And like, honestly, like if you get me alone in my house, and like there's a song on either that I like playing or in my head, I'm probably gonna fucking dance around like an idiot.
Get some drinks in me.
Especially that.
So why
not? Yeah, so why not?
Right.
Anymore, like it makes sense to me. And I spent enough of my life hating on that.
That's fair.
And I have joined the camp of, you know what? It's camp. I've joined the camp, and I love it.
That was part of one of my likes too. I just wrote cheesy. It is super cheesy.
Yeah.
It's dumb, but it's okay. That's the thing. So when I look back on and try to think about how I felt during these movies, I don't think I ever felt let down.
That's fair.
It's now that I'm an adult that people are trying to talk me into being let down by these movies. Again, we talked about Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I don't remember actually hating the movie when I first saw it because there were so many characters. Again, I don't understand why a lot of people don't leave their problems behind and get lost in a movie. Keith does, and I'm okay with it. It makes for a more enjoyable experience. Even though now what we do, we review these movies, sometimes I still just watch them.
Same.
I'll be like, this is great. Oh shit, I gotta write something down.
Yep.
Oh man, this is great. Oh shit. Like, and even if it's not great, I'll probably fall asleep. But I was thinking of a movie I didn't like, but yeah, but even then though, I was thinking of Star Wars, to be fair.
Because I've definitely seen you fall asleep during that one.
But the great thing about us reviewing it, you find good things and bad things about both about the movie. And even if it's your favorite movie, try to pick a bad thing. I can't. Oh shit, this might be my favorite. You know what I mean? Like that's how at least I work, and that's the reason why I wanted to do this podcast. But like when I'm looking back at it, I don't think I ever thought I thought it was funny, and I think it's supposed to be funny.
Oh yeah.
But I thought it was fun. I thought that was it though. I never thought like, this is dumb. This takes away from the lure of Spider-Man. No, it doesn't.
There was definitely a part in my life where I thought that. And then eventually I was like, you know what? It's a fucking Spider-Man movie. How can I expect a movie where Bruce Campbell has a grease paint mustache to be it's not taking itself seriously? Why should I take it so seriously?
Same.
This movie's just fucking hilarious. And it's actually, it was good it was good watching.
It was a good watch.
I was loving it.
I agreed. And that was part of my like too. I agree.
The campiness. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but my next The Sandman.
Yes.
I like The Sandman. I liked his backstory. I like that they retconned him as being the villain. I kind of liked it. I'm not sure if I like it, but it is what it is to me. It's to me how I feel about when they retcon stuff like this. Especially if you're doing it in the same series. To me, it's new information. Mm-hmm. It's not retconning. Is that what they call it? It's not. That's not what it is to me. It's new information.
Yeah, it's like an expansion on it.
Yeah, it's science to me. We learned something new, so we're changing our opinion. Or we're changing the facts. These were the facts as we knew them.
Yeah.
Science told us this was the real facts, and now this is the facts that we live by.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in real life, we don't like doing that because people are stupid. But in fake life, we don't like doing that either because people are stupid. And I kind of feel like I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
It's just like going from episode 4, 5, 6, the force, and then I know people are mad about it, especially my boy Abed, but it's okay. But midichlorians, I just watched that episode where he ties them all in together.
Ben Wyatt hated midichlorians also.
Same. But he ties them all in together, meeting at the Froyo place. Mm-hmm. And I was like, he was like, midichlorians, Dad. Midichlorians! Like, I get it. You're absolutely correct. It's new information to me. And that is never brought up again? Okay. But you're asking me to explain. Yeah, that's fair. But you're asking me to explain something that can make me levitate and fly and use lightning out of my fingers. I kind of feel like it's asking too much. You're asking me to explain too much. So, I forgot exactly where I was talking about. But, yeah, I didn't mind it. So I liked it. Cheesiness. To be fair, though, I have seen movies where I'm like, all right. You're cheesing it up a little too much. Mm-hmm. But it's never been a movie that I've taken serious.
Right.
I've never watched a movie like, okay, this is great. This is a great detective thriller, suspense. Oh my God, where'd this cheese come from? No. Usually it's like, okay, this movie's cheesy as shit. Mm-hmm. Okay, cheese it down a bit. Sans cheese. Like, that's it. And it's usually like an Adam Sandler movie. Mm-hmm. Or a Rob Schneider movie. I've never watched... What was he in? Hot Girl or something? Whatever.
Hot Chick.
Hot Chick. Never seen it.
I think I saw it once.
But
and
I knew I didn't want to
most
see
of
it. I was like, this is going to be dumb. I'm okay.
Probably was.
I assume. I mean, his problematic views.
I'm just going to guess that you assume correctly. Because like I said, I think I only saw it one time. And if I've only seen a movie once in my life and that long ago, it's probably because I just didn't care to see it again.
Fair. That's fair. So... Did you go or did I go?
I think I started it with like the campiness of Dancing Spider-Man, okay. Dancing Peter. Okay. So my turn? Yes.
I wrote great action scenes. Speaking of what I want more and not less of. I thought all the action scenes were great. Spider-Man Sandman, Spider-Man Harry. Not even Spider-Man. Peter Parker and Harry. Mm-hmm. In the house. Venom. I'm trying to think who else fought. Just all of it. The action scene where Gwen Stacy falls off a fucking building. Oh, great.
She takes that desk in the face and just grabs that railing.
She was just like, blah, get out of here.
Yeah.
I was like, Spider-Gwen right there. Love it.
You did say that.
I did, because I was like,
I got excited about it. I was like, yeah.
See?
Let's do it.
I've never been excited about Mary J. Watson.
No.
But yeah, that's my like. What else you got?
I wrote one versus Sandman because the Sandman fights were great. Mm-hmm. Also, I think Sandman was really cool to begin with.
Same.
To agree with what you said earlier about him, he had some good heart to him where he's like, I'm just trying to get money for my kid who's sick, and his wife was like, get out of here, you're a bum, you're a criminal, get out of my house. And he was like, I'm still gonna go rob some banks and get some money for this kid because I'm still gonna try to be a distant but like wealthy father.
I'm gonna be the best thief she's ever seen.
I'm gonna be good at it.
Same.
So like when those cops were chasing him and he turns into that sand truck and just like sweeps him the fuck away.
Same.
And also like he himself like turns into that fucking swirling sand cloud and like just simultaneously like reaches down and punches the shit out of those dudes and then just like floats away was great. When he fought him in the underground between those trains. And the trains were going by, and he was just like pushing his face up against them, and his face was literally just like disintegrating into the trains. Great. When he was the big sand monster, and Harry turned the fucking flame jets on him, and his sand arm turned into glass, And he just like shot it off and it exploded and shattered. Great. I thought Sandman was cool. And I thought he had good fights. And the fact that at the end of the movie, when he was like, I killed your uncle, I'm sorry.
Bobby's.
It was like it was a legit accident the way that they showed it. Because he was like, oh, well, I was, my partner was the guy who robbed the place. And I was supposed to get the getaway car. And he was like, oh, well, I saw your uncle. He told me I didn't have to do this. And I could just go home. And then my partner ran up, and I had the gun in my hand, and it just kind of happened. I was like, I'm sorry.
And his partner left him.
Yeah. He's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like
fair.
He seemed like a good man, and I'm sorry that I did that. And he's like, I forgive you. Spider-Man was a good man. And Sandman was not a great man, but he wasn't all the way evil all the time.
He wasn't evil. He just did bad things.
He was a villain with heart.
Fair.
And I thought he was. First off, I thought he also looked cool. He had this the stripy shirt was like one of his signature looks from the comics and the show, which was good. And like you said, I don't think he's like that big of a guy in life, but they made him. I mean, aside from the part where he was a giant fucking sand monster, they made him look like a big dude.
Tall.
And he fucking punched Spider-Man out the back of that truck and then like hammered him through that truck like he was nothing. And I believed it. Same. Because for one, he was a big fucking sand monster, man. But he also, he was a big dude. They made him look like it. And he looked like Jim Varney, so I'm alright with it. Buff Jim Varney.
Fair.
Buff Slinky Dog.
Same.
I was alright with
it. Let's see. For me?
Yes.
I don't know why I wrote this as a like, but I got two more. This one and another one. Mary Jane wasn't wrong. It's the only time I'm going to stick up for her.
I remember you saying this. I don't remember which part.
It was when he was about to propose to her in the movie. And he made it not a big deal about Gwen. And he was just like, she already wasn't having a bad day. She got fired. She had to get a new job as a waitress, which was in her, I assume she thought was beneath her. He kissed Gwen. To be fair, he kissed a random lady that he saved. That's what happened. He kissed a random lady that he saved. Then she shows up at the restaurant and they know each other.
Yeah.
Like, that seems kind of... like, if I'm looking at it from my point of view, I'm like, well, that's a fucking coincidence, huh? And then to know that they not only just know each other, but then he goes... It's like, hey, Peter, blah, blah. It's like, hey, this is Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Watson. I'm just here with her. We're cool. You're about to propose to this woman. You say you love this woman, but you can't introduce her as your, not even fiance, but your girlfriend.
Oh, he definitely couldn't introduce her as his fiance because then the cat's out of the bag.
At least your friend. He didn't say this is
hey, buddy.
This is Mary Jane. What's your last name? Watson? Yeah, Watson. I don't know. He's like, man, you're a genius, blah, blah. He's like, just help her with her homework. So now you help her outside of class, too. To me, I was like...
You're getting to know each other pretty well.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I'm Spider-Man. They love me. Hey, instead of saying, like, yo, what's up with you? He's just like, yeah, Spider-Man's crazy. Oh, this woman that I kissed, don't worry about her. She's all cool. Yeah, so back to me. And then Mary Jane's like, I'm out. He's like, what? What just happened? And like, he looked dumbfounded. I was like, bro. And I get it. It was his turn. Well, no, he wasn't. Was he bad Spider-Man at that point?
No.
He wasn't Black Spider-Man at that point.
No, the thing was just living in his house.
Yeah, at that point, yeah. And so I'm just like, so you're just being a douchebag to be a douchebag. You weren't even evil yet.
Whether he meant to or not, yeah.
Yeah, well, you got to know better. You got to know better.
That's fair.
I liked it because this is the only time I'm ever going to agree with Mary Jane. That's it.
Okay. Last couple likes for me are real quick ones. You're trash, Brock. And I'm going to put some dirt in your eye. Love it. My buddy Tyler, our friend Tyler, says, I'm going to put some dirt in your eye, like on the regular. And I love it every time. And also, the You're trash, Brock, I try to fit that in.
Anytime.
Anytime I can. Even because I don't know anyone named Brock.
Same.
But if I think someone's trash, I'm like, you're trash, Brock.
That's fair.
You're like, what? And I'm like, you heard me.
You say it all the time.
Yeah.
He said it. I was
like, Spider-Man 3. Come on, nerd. Get with it. I work with a bunch of nerds. But, yeah. I mean, those lines were about and concerning Eddie Brock.
Fair.
Who, I know you said it earlier, and I neglected to join in on it. I enjoyed Topher Grace as Eddie Brock more than I remembered liking him. Because, like you said, he was like a skeevy little dick.
Yeah.
Who,
which is what he was supposed to be.
Yeah, and he wasn't supposed to be likable.
No.
I didn't like him, and because of that, I like it.
That's fair.
He did his job well.
Exactly. Like, that's another thing about, if I can hate on people about movies, because they don't like somebody in a movie doesn't mean you don't like them in a movie.
Right.
And that makes sense by saying if they're a villain or a bad guy in the movie,
yeah,
you're probably not supposed to like them in the movie.
Right. But you can also be like, oh man, I liked how he was like such a bad guy, or I like how he was that.
That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah, you can be like, oh, well, I didn't like him as a villain because I thought he was boring. That's like a legitimate claim.
That's fair.
Like, oh, I didn't like him as a villain. Why not? Well, his character was a jerk. He's the villain.
Or you can say like, oh, he's painted as a villain. He's not really a villain. Blah blah. Like there's some movies I can't think of anything offhand. But there's movies that I watch where I'm like, is this guy really bad? Like they're making him out to be a bad guy, but this guy's not that bad. He just made some mistakes or whatever the case may be.
Is it Anakin Skywalker? Is he the character?
Maybe in 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But 3.
He killed those children.
He chopped some heads off.
Yes, he did.
Kids' heads were roll.
They were rolling.
So no, not him. Like I said, maybe 1 or 2. I didn't even think he was a villain when he killed those people at that camp. It might have been, to be fair, and I'm not trying to be whatever.
His mom had just died.
They killed his mom.
And he was already emotionally unstable.
Yes, but they killed his mom.
Yeah.
So who's responsible? This again, I think it's a little, since it's worldly, I would say specie-ish. But like he killed them because they all looked alike. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess you can call it racist. Not just
the men.
Yeah.
But the women. and the children.
So I just think he killed the species because, like I said, I guess a form of racism. But at the end of the day, they killed his mom. They were holding her hostage till she died.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily... I'm not saying I would do it. If I had a lightsaber...
But he killed, like, for all he knew, like, that whole clan of people was
in on it. So,
yeah, he killed them all.
Yeah.
He killed them all.
Also...
They were guilty by association at that point.
I don't have a lightsaber. I would never do that.
But if you did...
And
I could...
I'm taking worlds down.
Yeah, you're gonna be Babe Ruth in it with that lightsaber.
I'd have been like, you know what, just put me on the dark side. Just, I can't take this anymore. I'd have been their first movie.
Get a cool red saber out of it too.
I'd have got their second movie, hour into it.
First 10 minutes.
Mom? Oh, sorry, Yoda. I gotta get over here. Yes. Give me some sweet chin music, some sweet music. I'm here.
Yeah.
That's fair, but whatever.
All right.
I don't know what we were talking about.
Are we on dislike? Are we on to dislikes?
I got one more like.
Oh, okay. Hit me.
Venom.
Nice.
Venom / Spider-Man's turn. His evil side was good. Like I'm gonna use words I don't use, and I don't know if I'm using them correctly. Oh. But the cinematography of Spider-Man in this one versus the first one. I'm not saying it's the same because I don't know. But let me just say it's the same at this point. Spider-Man's walking down the street in the first one. He trips, falls. New York laughs at him. This one, black suit Spider-Man, he's strutting down the street.
Yep.
And people are looking at him. They're taking notice of him. So the juxtaposition of both of these scenes.
There's some $10 words going on here.
I tell you what, I'll pay $11 for them. They show two different Spider-Man. When he's standing up on the thing before he comes in for the key to the city, he's literally, the shot of the camera, it looks like to me, and I could be seeing things, looked like his head was getting bigger. Like, because he's like, man, they love me. And then, like, the camera keeps going so low because they're basically looking straight up on him. And his head is just, and you can see the ego of him. And then every time Mary Jane started talking, he started talking about fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And just his turn, and then the fucking symbiote attached to him, great. And then Venom looks so fucking good. Like, I only saw this yesterday, but Venom looked good. He was kind of big, but he wasn't as big. But when he was fighting, he was bigger, muscular.
Yeah.
When they showed him fighting with Brock inside of him, he was. But then when they showed like Brock as a face, it was like a human body.
Yeah.
But when he was fighting Spider-Man, he was a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I noticed
like,
that.
Okay. They're trying.
Yeah.
At least they're trying. And every time they showed him and he was talking to the Sandman or whatever, they showed him as Venom. He looked so good to me. And I was like, this is what I want to see.
I thought he looked really good, if I can join in on the Venom. Because Venom's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains in general. And then eventually anti-hero and hero character. Mm-hmm. When he was in that ring of pipes.
Yeah,
and he was ringing him up, and he started like he left Eddie, like he pulled Eddie Brock out of him, and he was just like mass of like black tendrils and shit. It's looked so good.
That was a great scene.
That was great.
I agree.
And I loved the way that he did him in with like the sonic vibrations and everything, because it's a weakness. Fire, heat and fire and sonic, like ultrasonic frequencies is like a symbiote's.
Yeah,
fucks him up every time until it doesn't.
Well,
because some of them it doesn't.
That's fair.
Some of them use that shit. And it's tough.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, I thought it looked good.
I thought Venom was great.
When he was on Eddie Brock, he still had like the Spider-Man suit textures on him too. Mm-hmm. I kind of liked that.
I do too.
I liked it.
That's some people that I follow on YouTube and stuff. That's their gripe with the new Venom, that it doesn't look like that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the new Venom does not involve Spider-Man yet. And I say yet, because it could.
It could.
This next one could
but
at some
point. That's their biggest gripe, is that it should.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that, but at a certain point, like, how do you not make it? How is it not a Spider-Man movie then?
I think that was the point.
Yeah.
I think they were like, what's the point of even... Because if that's not his origin story...
Which it isn't.
Then put him in...
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
But I feel like because Venom is now like such his own character at this point, like in comics and everything, they were just like, all right, let's make a Venom movie, and people were cool with it. And I remembered liking it, and I say I remembered liking it.
I'm not saying there's no reason to not like the movie. Yeah. I'm just saying some people. It's not my gripe because I don't really care about them personally. Yeah. I didn't see Venom until I think last year, so. Yeah, I don't really care personally. Yeah. But I just know there are people who are very legalistic to the comics. The one guy. And I understood. When he said it, I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. I didn't know that Venom got his name because of Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. So he was like, kind of doesn't... I get what you're saying, like, oh, he's his own character now, blah, blah. I get that. But the Venom name, I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense. Kind of mean, like, and I understand I think you should have a own Venom movie. He deserves it. I agree. Start off in Spider-Man first.
That's fair.
But I get it. Again, I get it.
But the whole, like, no one can get their shit together between Sony and Marvel and Disney about, like, who actually owns characters and everything. And everybody wants to make money, but nobody wants to share the money. So, yeah.
But either way, I mean, like I said, I like Venom, so it is what it is. Either way, let's get into some dislikes.
Okay.
I'll let you go first.
Okay. The only one I wrote down was Jealous MJ.
Yeah.
Because I'm not taking her side.
Put together this winning argument.
Jealous MJ. No, I recognize your argument, and it is completely valid. MJ is, I'm sorry, in these movies, she's never going to be someone that I'm probably going to jump behind.
Never.
To begin with.
Facts.
But, yeah, like you made good points. I'm still going to give her a dislike because I don't like her.
That's fair.
And I mean, who among us wouldn't be jealous of Spider-Man? Because Spider-Man's incredible. He's amazing, even. There it is. Hold for a laugh.
Same.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't. I don't care for MJ.
That's fair.
And so jealous MJ, it's not a good look on you, honey. Come on, let's be honest.
I do agree with you when. Did she lose the job or she got a bad review?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, take it from me. I kind of know. And then he got the call and she was like, I was like, well, you signed up for it.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
She signed up for it at the end of the last movie. She's like, go get him.
Yes.
This is our life now. And then she's like,
I think she was very jealous of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. I just meant the Gwen part. She had a lot of good points.
That's fair.
But the jealous of Spider-Man thing?
Yeah.
So I agree.
I'm jealous of a superhero.
She's jealous because she wants
join
the
club.
She wants a spotlight.
Exactly. Like she literally wanted the spotlight. Guess why? She became an actress.
Yes.
She became a model. And then the person she's with gets a little more than her. Or, I mean, more. I mean, not a little more. Gets more than her. And suddenly, it's not fair. Suddenly the world's not fair again.
Agreed.
Sorry. Next dislike for me, I've said it before. I think this is my main gripe with Topher Grace's Eddie Brock, is that I just wish he would have been bigger.
Yeah.
And even if, like you said, they did make him, when he had the symbiote on him, they made him look bigger.
Yeah.
But he was still, about the same size as Spider-Man when they were, up against each other.
Yeah.
He wasn't, and not that he has to be...
Yeah, he was a little bit bigger than...
Yeah, he was a little bigger,
Toby,
but not that he has to be, towering over him or anything, but I thought it would have been good. Yeah. I thought it would have been nice.
That's fair.
Because I know Spider-Man doesn't get the suit and suddenly he's juiced because he's already, Spider-Man. He's already, in good shape.
I think, and I agree. Because, like we said, we both said, Peter Parker is a brick shit house.
Yeah.
In the comics.
In the cartoon series? Jesus Christ. Yeah. He looks like he'd punch out a fucking gorilla. Yeah, he's huge.
Didn't he write for the paper? Isn't that what he did?
He was still a photographer for the Bugle.
Okay. I thought he wrote for his high school paper. I thought that's what he did in high school.
I think he was a photographer. At least Tobey Maguire was a photographer for the high school paper.
No, I meant in the cartoon.
I don't even know if they touched on him in high school in the show.
Well, I thought it started off in high school.
I thought it was.
It was just college.
I think it was him in college.
Yeah, you're right.
Because once he gets the Venom suit, he's like, oh, he's fucking chasing everybody down, screaming, "I'll find you!"
Okay, yeah, you're right.
And he's punking out the fucking Rhino every chance he gets because he's a dumbass.
I think there is it's early 2000s. I heard this somewhere, but we talked about it in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I think people had a hard time. Not a hard time, but they didn't want to put in the wrestlers or football players that should have played those parts.
Yeah.
Nowadays, though, now they get them. They're not afraid to do that. And I think in this one is the same thing, because whereas I'm not saying they were trying to make a serious movie,
right?
But they're like, okay, a photographer for a paper, he's gonna be a scrawny kid. He's gonna be Topher Grace,
and I see that part of it too.
He's not gonna be The Rock, the paleontologist who's a brick shithouse. Because they can't explain it in the early 2000s.
The most fucking juice scientist you'll ever see in your life.
Today and days, they're like, you want to make money?
Yeah.
I don't care if he's a fucking mermaid whisperer. You better put the Rock in that bitch.
Right.
So I agree with you 100%. Yeah. I agree.
But honestly, if you put a camera around their neck in a movie, I'm going to believe they're a photographer.
That's fair. That's fair. I agree. Listen, again.
Because it's a movie. And it's not saying it. I'm not saying that him not being a fucking huge muscle man took me out of the movie, because it definitely didn't. Yeah. It's a small gripe that honestly might not even belong in the dislikes.
No,
but
fair.
It's something that's always bothered me about the movie.
I think it's a good dislike because we talked about it.
Yeah. Because I'm over my dislikes of Topher Grace in general as Eddie Brock, because he was good at being someone you didn't like.
That's fair.
He asked God to kill Peter Parker.
He did, didn't he?
He went to church, dipped his hand in fucking holy water, did the sign of the cross, and said, "Sir," speaking to God, called him sir, or speaking to Jesus, called him sir. "Please kill Peter Parker. Get the fuck out of my house." That's not a good man by any stretch. That's not a good guy.
No.
That is a bad guy and a good villain.
And it makes him happy.
Yeah, being bad makes him happy. Come on.
I think that's another thing. When you used to say that line, you used a different voice.
Yeah, because I also misremembered the line. I used to think it makes me feel good. Was what I thought the line was, and I misremember it. Like, I like being bad.
There it is.
It makes me feel good.
See, that's
yeah, that's the one. That's how I remember it coming out, and it's not how he says it. That's not how he says it. He's like, I like being bad.
That's why when I heard it, I was so
It makes me
surprised.
happy.
I was like, oh, he didn't say any
Yeah,
of
like, that's
that.
not how
He didn't
says it.
sound like that.
But it's fun for me to say it that way.
I love it. Keep it up. Fuck it.
I camp it up, I'm guilty.
It. That's fair.
Guilty. But those are my dislikes.
Okay, I have 3.
Okay.
The first. How's the movie start? Her in Broadway.
Yes.
After they leave the show, they're in the fucking park, and they're in that fucking web. And I fucking hate it. I fucking hate everything about it. I hate MJ. I hate Tobey Maguire. The only good fucking thing, because he was in the web too. He made the fucking web. But we didn't see it, but she's laying in a web like it's a fucking cot or whatever the fuck those things are called.
A hammock.
A hammock. Ugh. I hated it. As soon as I saw her, I knew what time it was. Because we talked about it last episode, or the episode before. It was like, what is the scene where she's in the web? And you're like, oh, it's 3. And I was like, no, I don't think she was in the web in 3. But then I agreed with you. But then we end up coming back to saying she was in the cab in 3.
Yeah, because I thought you meant the part where she's in like the black web.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, there's a scene where she's in a web, and I fucking hate it. And I hate it. And as soon as I saw it, I wrote it down. It was one of the first things I wrote down. Her in the web. And I was like, this is dumb. It's dumb. The only good thing about that entire scene was Venom shows up.
Yep.
That's it. The fucking meteorite fucking hits Earth.
Yeah, they
I wish
kiss
it would have hit that fucking web.
They kiss and nobody notices the fucking fireball shooting out of space toward them.
I wish it would have hit that web and burnt them both up.
Not Peter.
I don't care.
Oh,
Fuck them.
oh, fuck him. That's why.
At that point,
Get another Spider-Man, you rich motherfuckers.
Same.
And they will.
Next up, Patriotic Spidey. They do a obligatory
Post 9/11
post
New York.
9/11
Yeah.
American flag shot. He runs for like a mile and is still behind him for some reason, and it's annoying. I don't like it.
I remember when it happened. I was like, oh.
Yeah, same.
Also, I'm not like a very patriotic person either. I like Captain America. That's where it ends.
Yeah, same. Next up, facial expressions by Tobey Maguire. His facial expressions, and I think this is why people have a problem with him. The train scene in the last one. What did he do in this one? Is this the one when he was in the web and when Venom was on him and he was trying to get him off? I think that scene.
When he's on the girder and like he's getting choked and like does the reach. That one?
Maybe. No, that's when he's getting hit with Sandman.
Yeah.
No, when he's at the church with the bell. He makes some terrible faces.
Oh yeah. I just Toby at this point.
No, I know. That's
just Toby being Toby.
No, I'm sinning. I'm disliking Toby. Facial expressions Toby. I wrote Toby. I didn't write Spider-Man.
Spider-Man has no facial expressions that he's aware of.
Can I just say another dislike? Okay, this is a dislike. I just made this up on the spot. You said you like Spider-Man. I don't like Spider-Man in this one.
No?
I never do.
No?
No, he gets his ass kicked half the time. And just like in the last one, his fucking mask is off half the time he's Spider-Man. And
to be fair, I think in all 3 of these movies, his mask gets shredded in like the same way every time.
He's getting his ass whooped every single time. And the only time he didn't lose a fight was when he was Black Spider-Man. When he black suit Spider-Man, I was like, didn't even get a rip, didn't get a tear. This one, he's fucked up from this. He's like Spider-Man to save the. It's like, okay, come on, man, be Spider-Man, do something. Like he was getting his ass whooped. I don't know if Venom's stronger than him, right, or something. Venom was kicking his ass in this movie.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn.
Also, Venom doesn't set off his spider sense, like historically speaking.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Venom like doesn't send off the spider sense, so he can sneak up on him. He can just like sucker punch him. He could,
What you did?
like, if he doesn't see him, he's gonna hit him.
He did all those things.
Yes.
Nah, I just didn't like.
Which
him.
I mean, they didn't make a point of saying it in the movie, but it's like throwing it out there. That I'm pretty sure it's canon that Venom like symbiotes don't set off his spider sense.
That's fair. Also, he was getting his ass whooped.
That's also fair.
Like, he was Yoda in this movie. It's like, oh, Spider-Man's so great.
Starting a lot of fights.
Can he win a fight?
Not finishing them.
Yeah, can he win a fight? It's like, hey, I need your help. It was just a lot.
To be
and
fair,
that was just a made-up one.
fair, he did kill Venom and Eddie Brock with a grenade.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah. To be fair.
They were weakened at that point.
By him.
No, I think that was when Eddie threw him. Or Harry. Because remember, he stabbed Harry. And then Harry fell and hit those
Yeah,
things.
the pipes, and then Spidey surrounded him
he
in the
was
pipes.
weakened.
Yeah,
He
by
was weakened.
Spider-Man.
Well, he was weakened by Harry because Harry fell.
Yeah, but then Spidey like stuck the pipes around him and then was like hitting him and setting. Yeah, and they weakened him.
Well, no, he was weakened from the pipes falling.
Yeah, like that gave him the opening, and then he did it, stuck him all around him.
He didn't do it himself.
Started banging him off,
He had help from a dead Harry.
and then he wasn't dead yet.
He was dying.
He wasn't living good, but he,
Exactly.
yeah, because then he pulled Brock out, and then Brock's like, no,
He
and
jumped back in.
blew his ass up.
Fair. But if it wasn't for Harry dying, Spider-Man would have died.
That's also fair.
So, didn't like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
But
and his
anyway.
amazing friends.
That's fair. Let's see. Those are my dislikes.
Okay,
So let's get on to the Slushie Meter.
let's do it.
I'll let you go first.
3.75.
I'm going to go... Shit, I don't even know. Did I write down the other ones? I think I did. I don't think I did. 3.75. Were you going to say more? Sorry, I think I interrupted you.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I don't know what I gave it. I don't know what I gave 2. Do you know what you gave 2? we do
I
it?
want to say I gave it like a 3.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna give this one a 3 as well. It's cool. I like it. It's good. I like Venom. It's not my favorite Spider-Man
Same.
of the 3. It's probably my least favorite of the 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like Doc Ock better. And the Goblin was just so much better. Like, the introduction of Spidey was good. I'm going to say always, but I usually always like the origin story, the first one. Because you get to see all the stuff he can do.
Of heroes in general? Okay.
You see what they can do. You see how they get there. You see that they were either a good person or, he was bullied and shit, whatever. But he was still a good person. So I like that. And then Doc Ock was just great. So this one, I'll give it a 3. I think it's the lowest one I gave. Because I think I gave the other one a 4. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go through. 3.75 for you?
Yes. Because I'm pretty sure I gave the first Spider-Man a 4.
Yeah.
And I want to say I gave I gave 2 like a 3 or like a 3.25 or something.
Fair.
But yeah.
Oh, either way, it doesn't matter. I'm giving this one a 3. Simple and plain.
Okay.
So that's it.
Yeah. For the original Spider-Man trilogy.
That was the original Spider-Man, the OT.
You want to rank them real quick?
Mine would probably be either 1, 2, 3 or 2, 1, 3. I think 3. Man, yeah. I like Doc Ock. I like him better than... I like Venom. I don't know. You go.
1, 3, 2.
Wow.
Because I like Doc Ock also, but I feel like his story took a backseat in that one to the whole Peter Parker MJ romance angle, which has always been one of my least favorite angles of Spider-Man. And it's always present because it's always a big part of his stories, but it's not my favorite. So
No, I agree.
if it had been more of him and less
MJ.
will they, won't they? Yes.
Will they, won't they? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. 1, 3, 2 for me.
Yeah, that's same. 1 is probably the best. Either or. Either 2, 3 or 3, 2. I don't really care.
Okay.
It's either or for me because you're right. 1's probably the best. I remember being really upset about not upset, but disliking a lot of scenes. And 2 that just weren't needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of scenes with MJ were not needed. MJ was not needed. Yeah. 132. I'm gonna agree with you.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna agree with you. I don't know what I gave. I wish I knew what I gave to, because then I would give it higher. Maybe. I don't know. I'm lost. And look, you thought you were fretting. I don't fucking know.
I butchered the fucking plot of that movie. Let's be honest.
It's all good though. It's the worst one to you, so
no.
Fuck it.
2 is the worst one to me.
Oh yeah. That's right.
I'm pretty sure I fucked that one up too.
It's the worst one to me, so fuck it.
There you go.
Okay. Let's get out of here. That was our original trilogy Spider-Man 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Next up, we have the Amazing Spider-Man with the young Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. We have that, then Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, that's what's up next. So with that being said, make sure you go follow us on Twitter at Slushie Review and on Instagram at Slushie Review Podcast, and check out our YouTube page at Slushie Review. Anything else?
I like Spider-Man. That's it.
I was gonna say something, but it sounded bad. So
what?
No.
Okay. Say it off the air.
That's fair. Okay, so this has been Keith.
And Chris.
And we'll see you tomorrow or something.